Our guest this week has been privileged to work with international music labels like Universal and SONY BMG. With hit productions like Alagbara by ONOS and Miracle Worker by GLOWREEYAH BRAIMAH, he is without doubt a sought-after maestro. He is a music producer and composer who has been privileged to work with great names like Wanda Baloyi of South Africa, Lionel Petersen, Sammie Okposo, Judith Sephuma, Donnie McClurkin, and Chevelle Franklyn, among many others. We have the pleasure of interviewing a music magnate, scratch that, the music magnate, Wilson Joel. You started out in production in 99, I believe.
Even before, we're in 99.
Officially, at Real Mix.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's a mystery right there.
That is not a mystery. That's like public
I'm just trying to understand how you guys get to know all these things.
Okay. So in 99, you started out at Real Mix, and we would like to get a bit of clarity and a sense of what your life was like before 99. What kind of childhood did you have? What kind of background did you have?
Wow. You're trying to get me to talk.
We need that
I mean, to be honest.
Like I said, it's about the journey.
For me, growing up was very interesting. Very interesting because I was one of those kids who didn't have what some of my peers had when they were growing up. So you find a kid playing with Nintendo. I didn't have a Nintendo, you know, so I was just about the mystery of life. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do with my life? So imagine a young boy of 10, 11 already asking himself, what am I supposed to be doing in life?
So basically saying you had a sense of purpose from that very young age.
Well, not until maybe about now I'm now grown is when I can say, okay, that was sense of purpose. But I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. But for me, it was just more of a puzzle. You know, I was in school. I was very brilliant. In fact, my position was nothing less than third in class, between first and third. You know, so, but with all of that, you're brilliant, you're going places, you know, people expect you to go and do white-collar job, which I was going to be a doctor. You know, but I kept asking myself, what am I supposed to be?
Yeah, I was just about to go into that medicine.
You know, what am I supposed to be? My father would ask me, what would you like to be when you grow up? I say, doctor. But guess what? Every time I say doctor, something inside of me keeps saying...
It was a very, very passive ambition.
Yeah.
Not
like,
active.
Exactly. Like, let's just do it for our parents. So now it is then. It's either doctor, engineer, whatever. So my life before 99 was more of a... journey
of discovery
into myself. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What's that thing I like to do a lot? You know. So yeah.
Okay, you already talked about your desire for medicine. So at that point in your life, as in when you had to go to the university or something, how did that desire, that dream to be a doctor evolve? As in, what did it evolve into?
The truth is, I care a lot about people, naturally. And I remember one time when I was young, I had this mole on my head somewhere here. It was a growth, you know, like the chelidolysis or whatever they call it. I had it here on my head. So anytime I go to a place, you know, they say, that guy that has that thing on his head, he came here. I'm like, what kind of discussion is this? I was so frustrated, you know. So one time I prayed, I'm like, God, I don't like this thing. You know, one of my uncle was around, he came to visit us, and, you know, he also prayed with me, you know, and then all of a sudden one morning, the thing fell. It fell by itself, and that was the end of it. So I was now caught in between, okay, this thing has a scientific background to it, and there's also a spiritual background to it. What's going on? I need to find out what's up with this medicine thing. And I was in science class. In fact, let me shock you. Don't tell anybody. You can cut this part out. I'm kidding. I was in art class. Sorry, I was in science class when I was in SS1. I was in art class when I was in SS2.
That reminds me of the conversation I had with my VP once when I went into his office and I was like, is there a chance we can drop some science courses in science class? Because I was trying to negotiate my way out of chemistry, actually.
Oh, chemistry was actually my favorite subject.
I had a terrible teacher. I mean, but
that's actually my favorite subject. Yeah, so the desire came from that. Like, I was curious. So basically before 99, really, everything about my life was curiosity. I was just curious, like, what is it about this medicine? What's about this music? This music is the one that involves more in me, like, makes me think and all that, you know, but...
Okay, so we're talking about your studying or desire to study medicine. What did you end up doing about that?
I just dumped it.
Okay.
My family fought me.
I can imagine.
They fought me like, you want to disgrace his family? You can't do this.
You can imagine how many postulations and permutations they must have made. I didn't have a doctor in the family.
Hey, my mother especially, she fought me. Sometimes I'll come home from a gig, say, you're not eating today. I said, no problem. I'll just go to bed and sleep. And really, she won't give me food. They're all in the bid to ensure that I know what I'm doing, you know, really. But I just dropped it. I mean, got into school first year. I'm like, what am I doing here?
You felt out of place.
I just...
Like fish out of water.
I'm telling you, I mean, this is a supposed doctor who went to sit in a ceramic studio for 2-3 years just to pack cable himself. I wasn't allowed to pack cable, but I was just there sitting and watching, you know, until some other guy picked me up and then started teaching me the rudiments of music production.
We'll talk about that guy. Can't remember what his name is.
His name is Johnson Davidson.
Exactly.
Yes.
I remember reading that name somewhere. Okay, you are presently a music director, yes?
Yes.
Or used to be?
Yes, I am.
Presently a music director at House on the Rock Church.
Yes, I am.
For the benefit of our audience, tell us about your salvation story. Was it the dramatic kind, or was it just
the submissive kind?
Okay, so what were the circumstances around that?
Okay, let me go back. My father used to be, whilst he was alive, he's late now, that's a memory. He used to be a lay reader in Anglican church. Yes, now you see. So my dad was a lay reader, my mom used to be in the choir, my sister used to be in the choir, my brother plays drums, another of my brother plays trumpet, another of my brother dances. There's only one of us that doesn't do anything that is related to art or dance at all. So he is the pastor. He's not musical or artistic in any way. So he will go out early in the morning to go and preach, you know, like we do then with megaphone, early morning evangelism. To go and, I follow him, I'll carry the Bible.
Assembly things.
You understand? I'll carry the Bible. You know, at some point I'm like, this guy that loves God like this, there must be something else to it, you know. And I remember when I joined the choir at the age of 12, because I was actually a singer before anything else. At the age of 12, when I joined the choir, you know, I just began to love God more. Like, I just love this God, you know, for no reason. You know, it's easy to love God when it's about you want Him to give you something, but that was not my case. You know, so if you ask me now, when did you accept Christ into your life? I can't tell you when.
Okay. I
just know that I flowed into it.
But there must have been a point in your life where you became consciously aware.
Oh yes, of course. That I would say at the age of 17.
17.
Yes, okay. At the age of 17, categorically, I'm like, you know what? Let me take this walk seriously. At the age of 17, okay. I remember very well.
Let's talk a bit about your music. As far as I am aware, you don't particularly discriminate, right? You produce for secular and gospel.
Yes, I do.
Now, what underlying principles do you apply in deciding who to work with?
Very simple. Content. Okay. You know, an entertainment lawyer or a marketer will tell you that content is king. Now, whatever that means depends on the crowd that you are focusing on.
The audience.
You know, for me, content is very key. I mean, I've had a situation where I had to, without trying to be proud or whatever, I had to return somebody's money to him and say, guy, this was not what we...
bros.
Yes, bros, come on, be going. This wasn't what we discussed. And it was so bad that he started smoking, you know, in the studio. You don't do that around me. Not because I discriminate against smokers or drinkers. That is your choice. You know, I always say that whatever anybody's choice is their choice, but not around me. You know, I have standards. So you can't come and do booty shaking music. I wouldn't do it. You know, and most times every time before a production, I need to know what you want to do. You know, like when some people call me and say, yes, so I want to do a song, how much does it cost? I say, can you send me the song first? Everybody who's listening right now can tell you, I mean, if they've ever worked with me, they'll tell you that's how I do. Can you send me the song first? I listen to the song and now tell you the next thing to do. I say, okay, no, we'll come to the studio or pay a certain amount of money before I come to the studio. So I produce for anybody as long as the content is positive.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Okay. At some point in your life, when after your stint at Real Mix and some ad agency, I believe.
Yes.
You decided to up and leave and move to South Africa, right?
Yes.
And what we found out is that when you landed in South Africa, you had like $160.
Oh my God!
Right? Is that correct?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Now, fresh kid, new town, new country,
new energy.
What was on your mind at that point, and how did you plan to survive?
Remember I told you that before I got to Remix Studios and started to meet one or two people who could help me, my life was about curiosity. I'm so curious as I sit here right now, like, okay, what is going to happen next year? Not like, I'm not anxious. No, not at all. I'm just curious, like, okay, what could be there? I mean, let's see, what crazy thing can we do to bring some things alive? That's what took me to South Africa. In fact, it was so interesting. No, I won't say use the word bad. It was so interesting. The person who was supposed to pick me up, the person I had the conversation before getting to South Africa, did not show up at the airport.
Okay.
They didn't show up. They didn't come to pick me. They didn't send nobody to pick me. So I was just there at the airport, like, okay, where do I go from here? And all of a sudden, some guy who we flew together was going to a place called Randburg. And I remember that, okay, one guy that we used to work together, his brother lives in South Africa. His name is Anthony. So I asked the guy, do you know Anthony? He said, I know him. That's where I'm actually driving to right now.
Wow. I
said, yeah, we'll go. Let's go there. So we go to Anthony, and Anthony's like, welcome. Jeff Wilson. How are you? Where are you staying? I said, well, where I'm supposed to stay right now looks like it's not available anymore. I said, you can stay here. I said, thank you. So that's how I got into South Africa.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Wow.
Crazy, crazy. I do a lot of crazy stuff.
Okay. So obviously you are a very courageous and spontaneous person.
Spontaneous, maybe not so much, but courageous, okay. Yes.
Okay.
I would agree.
Yeah. So there you were, as in at least settled for a bit, and what was the plan really? As in, okay, we know you went there for music and everything. How did you plan to survive?
Honestly, like I said again, I had no plan, except from the plan that, okay, somebody was going to pick me, and then they're going to give me some job to do.
It's just risky. Man.
I know. Till today, I sound stupid, but that's the truth.
Okay, yeah, but like I highlighted earlier, you see, one of the things we've noticed is a lot of successful people conveniently leave out the leverage that they took or used in becoming successful. Everybody likes a good PR story, right?
Exactly.
So I'm particularly excited and I'm happy about the fact that this vulnerability that you had then is coming to light.
Mm-hmm.
When you were there, you worked with a bunch of people and you were involved. Much. Yeah, especially the corporate guys. Now,
so much.
This question I want to ask you now, I hope you will answer, has to do with some of the meetings you took while you were there.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is, I believe, with Vodacom.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about?
It was a jingle that they did for... See what's interesting. The guy who was supposed to do the jingles is a Zimbabwean guy. And at the time, I think Mugabe was doing something in Zimbabwe. So he told the guy to come over. So this guy just calls his friend. His name is Kiko. Kiko, who can do this thing, man? Like, I don't think I'm going to come back. He said, there's a new guy in town. His name is Wilson. The guy is wicked. That's how he sold me to the guy. And next thing, I was sitting there in front of a lot of white bunch of people in Vodacom, so we recommended highly for all the way from Nigeria. They thought I actually came from Nigeria to come and do the job.
Interesting, expatriates.
And that was, do you understand? And that was it. They were looking for something really African, not South African.
Okay.
African.
Okay.
And I gave it to them, and that's how I got my first house.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about your relationship with Universal Music SA. You credited your relationship with them to a lady called Lulu Dikana. Yes, Lulu Dikana. And you said initially you didn't take her seriously when she said she wanted to work with you.
At all.
And then...
You've done so much findings.
That's the whole point of this.
Nice, man.
Anyway, so what was it like for you? Now, let's talk about your emotions then when they cut you that first check to do that work for her. And then what was the relationship like subsequently? I
will not lie to you. I can say confidently anywhere, that was when my life changed. That was when my life really changed. And what do I mean by change? That was when my music really now started to take shape. Because now I could see that, wow, so there's so much more I can do than what I think I can do. So there are much more people out there who are willing to, pay for my work, and take me this serious. I mean, if I calculated the money I got, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak figures.
we would like to hear it if you can.
If I'm allowed to speak figures, then I got about 300,000 rand.
Okay.
To produce just 7 tracks. So it's just 7 tracks, And if I converted it to Naira then, I said there was like 6.5 million Naira.
Back then. How much were the average producers charging?
Then.
Here in Nigeria back then?
I mean, if you give somebody 150K per track, they are super happy. Like, in fact, then I remember some of the top guys, that's what they were charging, 150, and if you beg them so well, they'll take 100K,
At that point, I know someone who was collecting dollars already. Anyway.
Exactly, $1,000.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. And that was like 150 then.
Yeah.
Even a bit less, because it was like 129 or so.
It moved to 2,000, then 2,500.
Exactly, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that was when my life really changed. And I went into a music store and I bought proper equipment. And I bought my first car.
Okay, at that point, you had already gotten your own place, right?
No. At that point, that happened before Vodacom.
Okay.
Yes,
that
happened before Vodacom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I got my first car in my life ever. From that, a Volkswagen Polo. I remember very well.
Polo.
Yes. Then Polo was hot cake. If you do a Polo, it's new money. I got my first car. Well,
if you ask me though, it's not particularly easy for somebody, especially a foreigner, to just up and appear in some country and just start to thrive.
I like that. You're going to.
It's not. I'm telling you, it takes a certain degree of grit.
I tell you, I think it's just all God, to be honest. Without trying to be logical and whatever, it's just all God. But at the same time, I realized in life that God won't do some things except you move, Just make a move and trust Him to direct the journey. So in fact, I know many times, if I can remember like 4 times that the police have actually chased me down and asked me, where's the drugs?
In SA?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, where's the drugs? In fact, one time, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Was that the reputation Nigerians had over there?
Nigerians, that's the reputation they have. Even if you're not selling drugs, that's the reputation you have. But once they see you now, you're fresh, you're looking good, you're a drug dealer. 4 times. I think the second and the third time, I had CDs in my boat. So I opened it, I say, I'm a music producer. I said, do you know Judith Sephuma? They say, yes. That's one of our best singers here. I say, well, this is a CD. I just work with her. This is what I do. Wow, really? They took the CDs, they played it. The next time they stopped me, they said, oh, Mr. Producer, go. So some people even thought I was using jazz.
Oh, well, it's understandable.
Yeah.
You can't just come from nowhere and come and start driving. There has to be an explanation.
I tell you.
Well, but usually I feel...
I didn't tell you this part. Do you know when I got to SA, it's the 3rd day I got my first job.
Wow.
It doesn't happen like that. The man came looking for me, said, I've been hearing about you. Let's talk.
On the 3rd day?
3rd day, sir.
He had been hearing about you from
Nigeria. I don't know from
Interesting.
Who. And the funny thing is, when I was in Nigeria, before I went to SA, I wasn't that known, really. You only know me if you do a lot of adverts and jingles.
Okay.
Because I was working with Dr. Bayo, Adekpetu then, and Johnson Davidson. who actually taught me sound and engineering and music production. Yeah, so that day I got my first job.
Okay. So, how many years did you spend in SA?
Almost 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so you decided after 6 years to come back to Nigeria, partly because you realized the Nigerian sound was emerging, right? And there was a lot of promise. Now, when you left, that was like repeating the same thing you did the first time.
Same time.
Pulling up your roots, going to another fresh location to start
all over
afresh.
Again. Oh my God.
Now, what plan did you have? Did you come back with a strategy to penetrate and make a name for yourself in Nigeria?
Well, I did have a strategy.
Okay.
Which didn't work out, really.
What was that strategy?
I wanted to actually bring universal music to Nigeria.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Okay.
And when we had a series of meetings, there were some concerns. That's why you won't find them here now. They're still not here.
But they used to be here back in the day, though.
Long time ago, So they were trying to come back. They're like, can you represent us? I'm like, of course. I mean, I'm not spending my money. You're spending the money. I'm just making sure everything works. And I know how you guys work now. After working with you guys for 4 years, come on. But there were some concerns.
What were their concerns?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it here, but
it's old. It's history. Because somebody listening might.
Yeah. The Nigerian environment kind of stuff.
Okay.
Where
it's a Nigerian factor then.
The Nigerian factor where, God forgive me, things don't work. That's the reality.
Okay.
As we're talking now, these lights can just go off, boom. I have to put on a generator. That doesn't happen in SA. In my old stay in SA, lights went off 2 times. And those 2 times, they announced it on the TV. Guys, there's a little electrical problem somewhere. We're going to do it from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Sometimes I can tend to be an optimist. There are places in Lagos where that happens.
Well, yes.
I'm not kidding. And this has nothing to do with generators.
Yes. I know. But
I can tell you one place right now.
Tell me.
There's a place called Ijede.
Ijede is outside Lagos.
It is in Lagos, more or less. Okay. It's across the pond on the other side. Right? That's where Egbintama Station is. So there's an estate there called Nepa Estate. Light never goes
look at the name. Check out the name
because
of the Nepa Estate.
Staff stay there. So
can't go
I've experienced it, so I know. You understand? So anyway, moving on. Your strategy initially was to come with universal music, but that didn't work. So what was the other plan?
I mean, start my studio again and start to do stuff here. Believing that with time it's going to pick up. Connecting with the right people, even though that's another story, But yeah, I started my studio in Alagbara.
K2.
Yes. After leaving Tush, South Africa, living in Sandton, Fourways, all those nice places.
Never despise the.
You understand? People are like, "What are you doing?
Beginnings.
What are you doing? How can you come from SA and go to Alagbara? You should be going to Lekki first one." I'm like, "Oga."
That's the equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly. I'm like, just calm down, eh? I'll be fine with no time. Yeah.
Okay. Thinking of how to
Don't shake me.
How to frame this. Okay, let me just simplify. So you run a thriving business right now, called Doxology Music. That's your record label. And right now you are the only, let me use the word artist on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me put it that way, because I've seen you perform, so I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, but you of course, you're also CEO, producer. How would you say the experience and the journey has been so far doing Doxology Music? Without
trying to make it look like a social media fake life, it's been tough.
Of course it's been tough, but
it's been tough but interesting. Because, in all of this, I've been learning a lot of stuff that I didn't even learn in South Africa.
Okay.
Because I say to people, Nigeria is a peculiar country. The things that work here might not work anywhere else. The things that don't work here might still not work anywhere else. If you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere. So doing business in Nigeria, the rigor, some of the distractions, some of the challenges, to be honest, with a studio, you don't want to be putting on generator every now and then. You don't want traffic around your head. You know, like when I was in South Africa, you know, someone can send me a song. They want to record this song. I might be driving, maybe home or through the studio. Before I get to the studio, I'm done with the song in my head.
Okay.
By the time I get to the studio, in 35, 40 minutes, I've laid down the basic foundation of the song. You know, but here it's different. You have to deal with a whole lot of distractions. If it's not the government, it's the family. If it's not the family, it's the friends. If not, it's the colleagues. If not colleagues, it's the haters. So there's been a whole lot of distractions, a whole lot of challenges. It's not been easy, but it's been worth it. That in a nutshell. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to take something from your past also.
Take it.
A post you made a while back. You see, the funny thing about social media is you never actually know.
You never forget
who is
reading.
Yeah, when I read this, I don't think we had met then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I just knew that we would talk about it in future. So I noted it down. I'll just take a quick excerpt from it. It says, right. I have done plumbing works, car wash, sold cassettes, errand boy for some of the prominent icons, role models, celebrities you know today. I have sold okrika.
Yes.
That was my best part. And all the while I was doing music, I didn't just fall from the sky. I followed process. Painful molding, discouraging, but all of it was God's plan. I've learned to abound and abase. What would you say kept you persistent through this process, as you call it? I mean, I'm thinking about it now. You make me sound like a trust fund kid, even though I know I'm not.
I'm smiling like I don't sit in gold.
I mean, how did you stay sane through all that period? That post, I just took out some part. I know there's a part of it that also talks about how you used to walk from Mafuluku to Agidingbe.
I'm back.
And all that. Yeah. Tell us a bit about that. How did you stay focused?
Two things. The first one is contentment. I'm a very content person, even if I have to say it myself. So that I might not have the luxury of food today, but you will not know.
Okay.
Because I won't come. How do I put this? I need to put this very right. It's contentment. So in a nutshell, I'm very content with every stage I find myself. So that, okay, there's no money for transport today. No problem. I won't steal. I have legs, right? I'll walk. I've done that a couple of times. In fact, you need to see, I'm sure you've seen my throwback pictures. I wasn't just slim because those were the involuntary gym.
I remember also reading that when you said something about your mom not recognizing you.
She did it. Yeah, at one point she looked at me in the eyes. So, whose son are you? I don't understand. She said, I remember she said in Yoruba language, meaning that what's all this deep stuff?
For the benefit of our audience, where are you from again?
I'm from Edo State.
Where in Edo are you from?
Isha.
Ishan.
Yeah, okay. So that's Esan West.
Okay.
You know. Yeah, so it's contentment. And then the second thing for me, I had this crazy attitude of, you know what? I'm just going to keep pushing. If I fail, it's fine. At least I will know that I pushed. It's better that I push and I fail than I didn't push at all and I still fail.
Okay.
Because if I didn't push at all and I failed, I'll know, okay, I cost it. Yeah. But if I keep pushing and I failed, I know that I've done everything there is to do. I didn't steal. I didn't do gigolo things. I wasn't even looking good then. So what are we talking about? Nobody would look at me, you know. I didn't do all sort of funny stuff. I didn't do fraud. I actually almost did Yahoo. I must tell you. First, they tried to initiate me in Nigeria, but I just didn't understand what they were trying to do. Like, what's all this? What's Yahoo? Yahoo is an email now. What's going on? You understand? Like, Yahoo and email now. Which one be Yahoo? And then I got South Africa as well. I think in the first year or so, they also tried to initiate me into the Yahoo thing. Just when I was going, somebody called me for a job. I'm like, I know they do it. I escaped. You know, so it was just those two things. Contentment and that die-hard attitude. Like, you know what? I'll just keep pushing.
Okay. Let's fast forward to 2016, right? So news came out that you signed a deal with Steinberg.
Steinberg, yeah.
Yeah. For the benefit of our audience, I want you to explain to us. The deal is still on, yes?
Still on, yes.
Okay. Why I'm asking is because I know there might be a limit to what you can say and what you can say, but I just want to have an idea of what that deal entails exactly, and what you're supposed to do, and what they are supposed to do.
It's called Steinberg Artist Relationship Endorsement.
Okay.
So that basically the deal is, don't play this in Germany. Germans are not like you and I know. They are not open like to people that much. They are more of a take kind of people. They're not like Americans, you know, where Americans sometimes are open to you when they give you stuff or when they sign you on stuff. So it's more, the benefit is more for me though, really, than them.
Okay.
So I've been using Cubase now for 17 years.
Okay.
So they were like, this guy, you've been using this Cubase, every of your posts
will see. Find out?
I actually sent them a mail one time
okay,
asking a question or something. So I think the guy was brilliant enough to go check me out and realize that this guy has been using Cubase like since forever. You know, and he didn't find out with a whole lot of producers around West Africa. So they're like, no guy, we're giving you an endorsement for 1 year. If you feel like you want to buy something and it's going for say $100, we'll give it to you at $20.
Wow.
Yes, that's the endorsement I have with them. Now, it's different from the endorsement where they just carry money and give to you. To them, their endorsement is more of a value-based endorsement than giving you money, really. You know, so that's the endorsement I have. Like I can also buy for you.
Okay.
At such discounts, you know.
Prices.
So that if I decide now, so okay, you know what? Let me use this benefit to let me go and open a store.
Okay.
I start selling.
So they will still maintain.
They will maintain the stuff, you know, and sense. It's renewable every year.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm about to do something now. I want to show you a picture.
Show me.
Right. Now, when you look at the picture, I want you to tell me exactly what was on your mind when that picture was taken.
Wow.
So.
I will say the much I can.
No, the exact. I'm particular about the exact emotion here.
Here's the thing. I've been in Austin Rock for plus the years I've been away from Nigeria.
Okay.
I've been in Austin Rock now for to be 17 years. Yeah, it will be 17 years, and Paul is a very nice man. This happened after my accident, where I lost my car.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
talk about it.
And the expression there on my face was like, yeah.
Now maybe this.
Now me for support the give car. I'm dreaming. Somebody wake me up. You know, not because I think he can't give you a car. No, but it's not what it would do like in a normal day. Okay. You know, so I was just too. My mind couldn't explain to me what was happening. Honestly, I honestly felt like I was sleeping. Like I was dreaming. I'm not joking. I honestly felt like, because the way somebody called me out of the choir room because I was drinking water and pushed me out like, what's calling you? And the way everything, it was too dramatic. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, very fast.
Yeah. All this you're seeing happened between 4 minutes or so, somewhere there. You know, so it was this shock, like, what is going on? Am I sleeping? Am I dreaming? You know, I touch myself like, okay, it's real. It's real, like, please tell me you're not lying. You know?
Okay, so let's talk about the genesis of that car. You're involved in an accident, according to your post, where you said you had no hand in. Exactly. What was the biggest lesson you learned from that experience?
The biggest lesson I learned from it, well, it sounds pretty cocoa now, but the truth is God is real. You know, God is so real that when that accident happened, I was the only one in the car. And it felt like I had company in the car. Till today, I still feel I heard a voice that said, calm down, hold the steering, you will arrive alive. That is what I believe I heard. about it. So I have nothing to gain from the lie, you know. And then after the accident, I thought that was the end. The guy who hit me, because I traveled to America after that, the guy who hit me went to the hospital to go lie to the other guy who, you know, he hit me from the side, and I went across the border, whatever, demarcation on the highway, to the other side. Some other guy was coming with speed and hit me as well. I don't know if I hit him or if he hit me. Honestly, I don't know. You know, and that guy is not all right till today. You know, his hips broken, his ankle broken, his knee broken. They did operation, but they actually did wrong operation for him. So then they have to open him up again, and that is something else. So this guy went to frame me up and lie that I'm the one who caused the accident. That's why I ran away. Now there's someone who caused the accident, they couldn't find him on the accident scene. Everybody was looking, where is this guy that hit him? Where is he? Nobody could find him. I never seen his face before. So to cut the story short, this case got to the Commissioner of Police's office, and it went on. The Commissioner of Police now took interest in the case. He said he's been doing this work for 35 years. That right now, in 5 minutes, you'll be able to tell everybody who is at fault. So he asked some specific questions. At the end of the day, the man said, listen, that's the boy who's at fault. That's the boy who is at fault, you know. So he took the case up and then he drilled us. So that's the boy who's at fault. And to prove it wrong, prove him right, when he now told them to go and lock the boy up, for now, the boy now started begging. You know, so for me, all through that accident case and this season, it taught me one thing again. It's like a reassurance for me that God is real. I mean, look at what now happened after the accident. You know, got another card you have to pay for. You know, Eric was still alive then. You know, we planned after the accident, you know, like a week or so after, I had some money I wanted to use for something. I said, okay, you know, let's just go online and look for a car. We found the Mercedes-Benz, the red one BMW looking okay. I said, I'll just use that for now, I'm good. You know, just the Sunday before the Monday I was going to pick the stuff up was when this happened. So God, all through it all.
Let's take a quick break. Let's talk about Nigerian music and the Nigerian music industry as a whole.
Make my dreams come true.
Based on all you've seen,
and I will do anything for you.
How would you describe
They
the
say
Nigerian
that
music
I'm
industry?
a fool.
In your opinion,
Well,
where do you
that's
think it is
fine,
headed?
because I'm a fool for you.
Hey guys, my name is Johnny Drill, and you're
compared to-
listening to Holy Holla.
This is 2017 compared to 2007. There's been a whole lot of improvement in terms of the quality of sound, in terms of the effort that's been put into the music. It's been a lot of change, but objectively, it's still not original yet. That's the only issue I have. It's still not original yet. So people can't just point and say, that's a Nigerian sound. You know, except for few people who do maybe like gospel music, who do maybe like real local music, people like your Flavor.
So you think with the Wizkids and co, the sound is still not defined enough?
It's still not original. I think, let me put it this way so I can be clear. I think that when they started to put more effort into it at first, it was original. So there was now that quest for, we need to go global.
Okay.
So you now see a Yoruba guy trying to do trap music, you know, trying to infuse it. Nothing wrong with experiments. But if you now stay there, like, this is what you want to keep doing, you've lost originality. Every region has their original music. It's like you go to Brazil, you can't find them doing trap.
A DJ friend of mine told me that he's so frustrated because everything sounds the same.
It's the truth.
Like you can't tell them apart.
Yes.
You already know what the next beat will sound like.
Exactly. Yeah, you know.
Okay, so but where do you think we're headed at?
I think we're headed to a great place. I won't lie. I think we're headed to a great place because anytime people begin to put effort in what they do, I always say that, you know, it's a sign that improvement is coming. Because you can stay still in one level and not do anything about your music or your career, and you just be still and then eventually die out. But we're headed in a great place. I mean, people like Asha, their music is now accepted. Before it wasn't accepted. That's the truth. People like even Simi, this lady, her music is now accepted.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't not that kind of music. They wouldn't accept it, you know. And a couple of other people, you know, even some of the gospel artists too. Tim Godfrey is more accepted now than he was before.
Well, Tim Godfrey was one of the minus all the old guys.
Yeah,
was one of the first artists to be embraced by the Christian community, as in the Agidigba time. Young Christian community. Yes, very important. Yeah, because for the older folk, it seemed a bit too energetic for them. Exactly. Anyway, you have a huge repertoire of productions across Nigeria with Nigerian artists, international artists. Which of your production experiences would you say is the most, or has been the most memorable so far? Amongst everybody you've worked with?
In Nigeria or
everywhere? Outside? Which do you remember the most? Which is your most memorable production experience so far?
It's going to be a tie between two experiences. The first one will be Lulu Dekana's production.
Okay, that's South Africa.
Unfortunately, she's late now.
Yeah.
Lulu's production was like a joke to me. It was like a play, like we're just playing. She would just come to the studio, we just play around something, play around it, and then it forms to a song. Like, what's going on? Where is this inspiration coming from? You know, that's one. And then number two, GLOWREEYAH BRAIMAH. Because when we did that Miracle Worker, okay, everything around me was wrong. I'll be honest with you, everything was zero. Even she too, everything around her was zero. My mom was in the hospital for over a month, you know, and my house was flooded. Studio was flooded. You know, my first set of equipment that I brought from South Africa, flooded, you know. It was really a crazy period. And then you have to sit down and produce a song that says miracle work. Come on, I mean, what mouth do you have to say these things, you know? So those two experiences for me they're going to stay with me for a long time, you know. Those two.
Okay, so if you could pick any artist in the world to work with next, any
in the world,
who would that be?
That would be Beyonce.
Okay.
That would be Beyonce, and that's because she sings. That woman can sing.
We all know.
She can sing. My God. I know she's from the church.
Yeah.
So
most of them are from the church.
Saying,
I mean, like, everybody knows. They all start out in church.
Exactly. You know, yeah, Beyonce.
Okay. I know I've already asked you about experiences from something. Okay, but what I want to know is, since you've been back, I'd like to imagine that you have faced your own fair share of rivalry, jealousy.
Don't go there.
I mean, like, you can only really take aim at people in flight, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask now, what has been, I'm trying to say it in a spiritually acceptable way.
Not say it the way.
Okay. What has been the biggest lesson? Now, literally, what's the biggest lesson you have learned from the Nigerian music industry? As in, just keep it as real as it can be.
There's a lot of beef. So much beef.
We know that.
So much competition. Now, that's the part I don't like. You see, this takes me back to South Africa, you know. I mean, fine, I've lived in America actually too, you know, even if it's not up to 2 years or whatever, you know, break it, come back, escape again. But 2 days I was actually living there, people didn't know, you know. And what I noticed in this environment is they share knowledge, they share work, and they share money. We don't do that here. So that you find a Gozem who's a brilliant, should I say, journalist or OAP or media person, and then you are beefing him for no reason. Why not try another method of guy? Let's hook up. Let me see what you know. Come see what I know. how can I be a better media person as well? And then you ask them, how can I be a better marketer, whatever it is. In South Africa, there's a place called Baseline, very popular. In Baseline, musicians come from anywhere. They don't have to know themselves. And they share knowledge. You find somebody playing the keys, and they play something, and somebody say, please stop, can you play that again? Show me how you do this. And they show you do it like this, you do it like this. Now, because of that, in South Africa, everywhere you turn, there are amazing musicians. Whether it's singers, whether, you know, so we don't do that here. Instead, we beef and we fight. So for me, if I was so bad one time, some guy called me and said he wants to apologize. So apologize for what? He said he can't sleep, he can't be at peace. Like, Nigerians don't come again, you're trying to wash me. I said, no, bros, I'm not washing you. He said it was part of a conversation that they used, where they ran me down, literally. You know, that later I now sat down with myself, like, really, to be honest, that conversation is not true. Because he knows me a little bit. But for him to be part of the conversation, he felt bad. So the hatred is everywhere. You know, if you blow, like they say today, oh, you have haters, they are waiting. It's like hell releases them. Once you blow, you just release, boom, go and hit on it, you know. So if we can just all come together, it's true, it will be a blast.
Okay. Let's talk about testimony of changed lives. It's one question we always ask on HOLYHOLLA. In studio, especially most times when artists come through, we always ask them, since you've been doing this music, do you have like testimonies of changed lives, of people whose lives have changed because of your music and everything? I want to pick one by myself for you.
Okay.
Sylvester
Idegbo.
Idegbo, yeah, thank you. Sylvester Idegbo, you raised 1,025,000.
Even more.
Okay, for him.
Even more, yes.
Now, I want to understand. Yeah, I saw that post you did. Find me this guy. I need to record an EP for him. When they finally found him, in fact, first of all, who found him? And then when they found him, how did your relationship with him evolve? And then today, where is he really?
The person who found him was some lady who reposted the video from the person who originally posted the video. Her name is Enno Charles.
Okay.
Enno Charles, shout out to you. And she found him, and I told her, just get me the number. That's what you have to do. She got me the number. I called him. I said, my name is Jose. I've been looking for you. Blah, 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 blah. Can you please come to so and so place? And then he came to Chevron. We went to go eat, you know, just to be sure that everything is all right. Then we came to the studio, and I told him, say, I was led to take him up as a project, you know, record a couple of songs. A couple of my friends also came and said they want to record him on Light on the Die. A couple of people. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll send him to you guys to also do a song for him, you know. At the end of the day, I just want his life to be changed. So we raised money. I mean, guess what? The money I was trying to raise was maybe like some small money, like 500K or something, you know, just so he can move from Ajigule to a better place. Right now, Sylvester is in Nigeria. You know, he's moved into his own place. Yeah, he actually called me before this.
His own place?
Yes.
As in his own property?
No.
Oh, okay.
His own apartment.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay.
You know, he's there now, putting the place together nicely, you know, and stuff. We recorded one song for him already. I did the backups yesterday. So I'm trying to plan if he can, you know, get to sing at notes to notes and less than 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
And so, but he's in a good place. Like when I met him, he didn't have an account. I had to use my account. I had to clear one of my accounts and say, okay, no, let me dedicate this. I was skeptical at first, like, you know what, some people think that I want to chop this money. So what I did one morning, I just went and opened the thing and started scrolling. I did a screenshot, a video screenshot. Started scrolling so people will see, and then I went to the balance so they can see. This is what we have today. I put it on Instagram so people can see it. But now Sylvester has an account, you know, because he didn't finish his BVN. So he's been running, thinking that maybe they want to arrest him or something. So every time they tell him, Oga, we need to see you on this side. He says he always run. But now he has done it. So I can just see him fixing up his life from one thing to another. You know, his wife now is thinking, okay, she can do a business by the side. Right now, I think they have about 500 and something thousand naira left from the money which is still in my account, you know. Once the account is set up now, I told him I'll just transfer the money to the place so you can do your business and stuff, you know. And I just want to see his life changed.
Okay.
You know?
So, but all through this experience and your relationship with him, how would you say the whole thing has affected you as a person and as a Christian?
It just showed me that, you know, loving your neighbor as yourself is very easy. Very easy. Because aside from the money that we raised, I know how much I've spent personally, you know, for him. Because I realized a lot here that we don't help each other. And it bugs me. So somebody wants to help you with money, so don't worry, call me. And then you call and call and call and they're not picking your call anymore. I don't understand it. I'm the kind of guy who works with yes or no. You know, if you're going to help me, say yes. If you don't want to help me, say no. I will still be grateful on both ends. So for me, it has affected me even more positively to understand that, listen, this is how God works. If God wants to bless you, this is exactly how he does it. You know, you have no idea to just hit you. Sylvester still thinks he's dreaming. I can tell you that. He still thinks it's a dream. He's just waiting for the remaining money to hit his account before he really understands that, okay, this thing is true. You know, if I was who called me from Ajegule one day and said, Oga, how far are we done with us? Can I move tomorrow morning? I said, yes, you can move now. We have gone to see the house, you know, and it's just an experience for me. Really, I can go on and on and on.
Has there been any comparison or sorts between you and T.Y. Bello?
T.Y. Bello? Oh, for the large market thing.
Yeah.
Well,
what I'm asking is, have you heard anybody say it?
Well, somebody almost went close to it.
Okay.
The person was like, so tell me, what's in this for you? I'm like,
was there something in it for T.Y. Bello?
That's what that's,
people are just,
you understand?
ridiculous.
I had to put the person straight and say, okay, hold on. What exactly is it or whatever? Say, see, like T.Y. Bello now, one thing. I said, no, don't go there. I know T.Y. Bello. She's not that kind of person. Maybe somebody else.
She's even too rich for all that.
You get my point? She's not that kind of person. She just wanted to see somebody's life change. She just got instinct directions from her spirit, you know, and she did it. Exactly, and I won't say it's exactly the same thing I did because I didn't see the guy. I only saw it on the internet because you will see a lot of talented people. But this one touched me like, can't people hear what this guy is singing? This guy is wasting.
Remember the story of the guy in the US? The guy who had this very fantastic voice
at the train station.
The radio announcer guy.
Yeah.
The guy who became a radio. An OAP.
Okay. I don't know.
He was just in traffic begging.
Oh my goodness.
But with this very fantastic voice.
I remember the deep voice guy on the street. I remember white guy.
Yes. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about your project. You're working on Notes to Notes.
Notes to Notes.
Is it Notes to Notes?
Yes.
Okay. This will be the second edition, right?
Second edition, yes.
Yeah. Talk to us about how you conceived the project and what you're looking to achieve with that. Also, after your accident last year, was it last year?
Last year.
Yes, last year. Notes to Notes became free.
Yes.
This time around, it is not free. Talk to us about that.
I mean, when I put it together last year, put a fee on it. I think it was 10,000 actually.
Yeah.
That we put on it last year. Not because we're looking for people's money. I realized that people don't value stuff when they don't pay for it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put a fee on this thing. I can't be bringing Steve Babaiko, Timi Dakolo, Praise, Uche Naji, and all these people for free, you know, and you just come sit down and listen to me for free and you won't use it. Let something leave your pocket so you can hold everything you hear closely and use it for your good. I mean, after years of leaving the SA, working with Universal Music, they actually taught me music business. You know, I receive royalties till today. I will always receive royalties, you know, for all the work I've done there, and even future works, as long as they're global, I will receive royalties, you know. And I just felt like there are a lot of talents in Nigeria. They don't know the business side of things. They don't. A lot of people think that taking your stuff with no diss to Alagbara boys, that Alagbara is the way to go. Whilst Alagbara is just munching on the opportunity that is available in Nigeria, because we don't have royalties and proper distribution channels of albums and works, is really still not the right channel, you know. So there are other channels where they can make money from. And I also had some guy one time, the one that really pained me, some guy came to me and said, he wants to put a song on iTunes and all these and all this. Somebody told him to go and bring 150,000, and I'm like, are you all right? Are you joking? I said, these are things you can do by yourself. You don't need, I mean, Ghana does this when you need an aggregator for iTunes. There was one time they do aggregator thing. Yeah. You don't do that anymore. You need somebody else to...
That statement just kind of reminds me of a certain time when somebody was thanking the then Nigerian president for bringing Facebook to Nigeria. Yeah. So the level of ignorance that has become the norm in many lives is earth-shattering.
I'm telling you. Yeah, so last year, we put a fee on it, and then I had the accident. I'm like, you know what? From the monies that were supposed to, I mean, come in, maybe like, okay, I won't mention figures. Some money was supposed to come in. I'm like, you know what? This money is nothing compared to my life. I threw the event open like free, but you still have to register online. This is just for me to thank God for my life and all that. Someone called it an emotional decision. I'm like, well, call it whatever you want to call it. I was the one who was in the accident, and I know why I threw this thing open. But this year is not free.
I said people always have opinions.
I tell you, you know, I mean, this year I said, well, so that people don't think that I'm about to be doing charity every year, I put a fee on it, and I put just 5,000 naira, something that won't kill you. I mean, you buy data 2 times in a month for 5,000 naira. So why can't you put it towards your own good? You know, and this year we have great people. I mean, this year is full blast training. Training is not a talk. Nobody will even be talking for more than 5 or 10 minutes. There's nobody's telling you jack. It's training. So, yeah.
Okay. So I want to tell you something now. What I didn't tell you at the beginning of the interview is that this interview was divided into 2.
Okay.
Now, you see this part we just went through? That's the easy part. Right? The second part is something we call rapid fire.
Okay.
So we'll take a break and then we'll come back.
Thank you.
And do that. No, don't worry. It's just easy stuff.
Go to the gym.
It's just easy stuff. But basically, before we go into that, I want you to tell us, looking ahead now, in 5 years, where should we expect to see Wilson Joel?
Recently, God has been leading me to do something that will, I see it already, really, really blow me up as Wilson Joel. Not Doxology music. Doxology music will eventually, of course, be big because of Wilson Joel. Really.
Are you referring to what we saw at Koza?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, people didn't know I was a singer before. I mean, if I even don't get a singer anymore, I'm fine. You know, I can make other singers, you know, but that's not it. God is leading me to do something big that is not even music, but it's going to assist the music at the end of the day. You know, like in the Bible, you know, it speaks of a man who dug a well, they will take it from him. You go somewhere else, dig down, they take it from him. The man has 2 skills that they don't understand. He hears from God and he has a skill to dig well. As long as you don't hear from God and you don't have the skill to dig well, the best you can do is to steal the well. It does not going to produce for you. So when the well dries up, that's the end. So for me, God has, I can't say it out now, you know, because it's still all in the pipeline. In fact, 5 years is too long. Maybe another 1-2 years. You know, Wilson Joel is going to be very global. Okay. You know, for a while, I was talking to someone. I really piped low for a while. Since when I came back to Nigeria, you know, You know how it is around here. People like to blow their trumpets, like I'm this, I'm that.
Perception driven society.
But they won't say it, eh? They will use social media to blow it up. So they'll blow themselves up in a setting and go like, and Gozem is a big yo.
Shout out to Hush Puppy.
It's a big you understand? Hush Puppy. Oh my goodness.
And his variants.
I'm telling you, this social media to blow it up than what it is. But these people, you check their account, they don't even have 2 million there.
Some of them actually have the money, but then it's questionable. It's all good.
I mean,
it's all good.
You said it's
all good.
So yeah. So I see myself in some very crazy big limelight in the next 1-2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready now. I've been shying away from this thing since, but I'm ready now. You guys just be wondering, is this guy doing jazz? That's the next question you start hearing.
That's a good question from where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So to wrap up this part of the interview, I want you to put out a word for somebody who would be watching this now or listening. Somebody who is going into music, who has no experience, who has practically nothing, as in flat. Like in sound engineering, when we say something is flat, no EQ on it. What advice and what words of wisdom do you have for those kind of people?
First of all, I'll say, for anybody who wants to do music, they need to understand that music is not a hobby. When you do music as a hobby, you will burn out. Hobby is football and all these things. So you can't play football for...
max 15, 20 years.
Do you get my point? I mean, that's even years. I'm talking for a day. You can't play football for 24 hours because it's a hobby. But you see music.
Neymar won't agree.
You cannot play for 24 hours. He will die.
No. As in the hobby part and his money.
No, I'm talking about when that's not what you do professionally, But music is different. Even if you take it as a hobby, maximum 5-6 hours a day or something like that. But you see, for people who are really into it, sometimes I'm here in the studio for 3 days. I'm not stepped out. All I do is just go to the kitchen area, have something to drink, something to eat, and come back in here. 3 days. I've been up today since 2 a.m. I've mixed 2 tracks before you came. Since 2 a.m. But my eyes don't say it. Because
actually it does.
It does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I mean, I'm used to this now. Like, after this interview, I'm going to drive to another meeting and another one. And before I come back, it's going to be like 7 or somewhere there. And I'm not going to feel sleepy. Music is not a hobby. And music is not easy. Just like any other profession out there. Music is... I think this one is even long talk. If you want to go into music, you must be patient, you must have contentment, and you must have an iota of God in your life. You cannot do it on your own. The forces behind music, now this is me going somewhere else now. The forces behind music are not stuff you joke with. They're not stuff you joke with. They're either positive forces or negative forces, which we call demonic forces. So if you're going into music and you really know that music is what you want to do, be patient, have contentment, and be super, super, super focused. Be ready to go to bed without food sometimes.
All right. So thank you for coming on.
You're listening to Holy Holla.